You find out that you are going to prison. I don't know, that moment. You came home. What were you thinking?
Oh, I did not come home.
Or you were just never even...
As soon as they said guilty, they took me in handcuffs to prison. I did not come home for almost 9 years.
How did your family react? How did your wife
Everybody
react?
was in shock. Like, what on
type of
earth
shock?
just happened?
What type of shock was it?
This can't be true. This is a giant mistake. We know Dad. He would not break any laws. Why would
Your kids never doubted you.
No, never doubted me. Dad, you didn't break any laws. We know you. We've known you all of our life. You're a godly man. You love the Lord. Job's friends spent the whole book of Job trying to get him to confess to something. Finally, God said to those 3 guys at the end in chapter 42, "You guys are wrong. You go tell Job you're sorry. He's my righteous servant." Okay. Now Job knew. Job said, "Look, I know I'm a sinner." Okay.
Let's say about you.
My family was just in. I was too. And we kept thinking, okay, we're going to put in the paperwork and get it overturned. Usually, after a trial, if you're found guilty, you can appeal it. But in order to appeal, you have to have the transcript of the trial. So we said, how much is the transcript? They said $4,600 for the transcript. Okay, so we raised the money.
$4,600?
To get a copy of the transcript of the trial. So we raised the money.
I'll interrupt you about this.
Go ahead.
Let's keep about you.
Well, I want to explain what happened to the family.
Okay. Sure.
So we raised the money and paid the $4,600 to get the transcript. Normally it takes 2 months. The reporter has to type out the transcript from the audio. Okay. Mine took 16 months. Very unusual. My attorney kept saying, "Hey, where's the transcript? Where's the transcript?" "Well, we're still working on it." "Yeah, right." They were changing it.
How do you know?
There's changes in the transcript. That is all up on freekenthovind.com. The transcript and the changes by the time it got to us. So it took why 16 months to get a copy of a court transcript? It's 2 months average, sometimes a month, and you're paying $4,600 for it. So meanwhile, I've got to sit in prison for 16 months waiting to even appeal. So on appeal, we put in...
So you weren't there 9 years. You were there more.
Almost 9 years total. But the first...
with the sentence and with the...
For the first 16 months, though, I'm in prison waiting for the transcript so that we can appeal. During that 16 months, they moved me 3 times. So they constantly moved me 7 times.
Sorry, let's go back to questions.
Okay.
Just...
So how did it affect the family?
How did it affect
the family? Was very hopeful. This is going to be overturned. We're going to see justice. America's a good place and nobody's doing anything wrong. We can trust our government.
They never doubted you.
Never doubted.
Never did. That's good.
Did the average Soviet citizen doubt this? When
they huddled together. They really did.
Okay.
So that's what it was.
We're headed rapidly down the same path as happened to Soviet Union. I mean, you guys came over here to get away from that, but it's coming here too. Get ready.
All right, the door is shut. You know that you're going to sit there for a while. What are your thoughts? Blame God? Why did this happen to me? The shock, the injustice. How did you cope? These thoughts were in your mind, right?
All of those. Everybody goes on a roller coaster in prison, emotional roller coaster.
In life too.
Yeah. I recorded that very carefully. I wrote 400 or 500 email letters, we call them.
Email?
On your knees. With email, you can only email and talk to people who are alive and who have a website or online. But with an email, you can talk to anybody in the past, present. So I emailed back and forth with John the Baptist and John, how do you feel? They're going to cut your head off. And to King David, Saul threw a spear at you. What do you think? So I recorded my emotional roller coaster in my email series, which is coming out in book form in the next few months. I wrote a book called What on Earth is About to Happen, about the future.
I'll come back to that, actually.
Okay.
I want to come back.
But this series is going to be called Why on Earth Did God Let This Happen? Everybody goes through this in life. Why did God let this?
How did you cope with this? Was that writing emails to John the Baptist helped you? Or what? How do you not blame?
Many things I coped with it. First of all, I'm very familiar with the Bible. I've read it for 47 years. I realized a lot of Bible characters had the same problem. Jeremiah was thrown down in the pit and beat up. And why? All he did was deliver God's message. Jeremiah did not do anything wrong.
In prison, you wrote 37 books, 800...
led about 800 men to the Lord.
37 books, 800 to the Lord, 2,000 books you read, 18,000 letters you answered. That right there is a work of a lot. I mean, that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
How do you keep working when you just have such a big chance? I mean, people here, they have a normal life and their life is boring and they blame God for their boring life. You have a life that's it's persecution in a real sense. And how do you do this? How do you find the motivation?
Oh, that would be from the Lord, I guess. I've always been hyperactive, stay busy. You know, I try to get more done in every day than can be done. But even in prison, I said, okay, God, this is it. You know, if they give you lemons, you make lemonade.
It sounds very...
Well, that's a cliche.
But how is it really just that easy? I mean, it's not possible to be that easy.
It is not easy, but it is amazing the grace of God that he shows you. When John the Baptist was thrown in prison for simply telling the truth, how did he feel? Or Jesus going to the cross? Well, I did with my email. I don't know that I gave his right answer, but it was actually me giving both answers. So I would talk to John. John, how do you feel? I tried to read the story 50 times to get the nuance. What is going on here?
Feeling of it, yeah.
Cain and Abel. I wrote to Abel. Abel, your brother hates you. He's going to kill you. And
he didn't know that.
He didn't know that, but all you did was you did exactly what God said. You brought a lamb. And your brother hates you for it. There's the same story.
So this helped you.
Oh yeah, helped greatly, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think my book series, when it comes out, Why on Earth Did God Let This Happen? I think it'll help a lot of people who are suffering. Everybody has problems. Their children die. Their wife dies, They lose their job. They go broke. They break their leg. I mean, everybody goes through this, and you wonder why. One reaction is to blame it on God. I made a decision years ago as a brand new Christian. I'm going to trust the Lord even if I don't understand. I got that from Job. Job said, Lord, I don't like this. I don't understand this, but I trust you.
That's hard.
It's really hard. But what else can you do?
Yeah.
Or you can hate God until you do understand. No, God, I love you. I don't understand. I don't like it. I'd like you to take it away, but I love you anyway.
It's admirable.
Well, if your son, you have 3 children, if one of them falls down and gets a sliver stuck in his hand, and he's screaming and yelling, oh, Daddy, this hurts, you might have to hold him down
to take it out,
to pull the sliver out, and it's going to hurt more. But you're looking at a bigger picture. Son, if I leave it, it's going to get infected. We got to cut off your hand. I have to get this out.
Yeah.
Now, you don't understand right now. You'll understand in 5 years. Sometimes things happen that we don't understand right now, and we don't understand for years. Maybe we'll have to go to heaven to see the picture to say, oh, now I understand. Job never did find out why those bad things happened. His 10 kids died. His
Do you
wife,
think he knows now?
Oh, yeah. 5 minutes in heaven. It's like, oh, now I see, I'm glad, this may sound crazy, but I'm glad it happened to Job.
Oh,
because his story was a comfort to me.
And, I didn't have the experiences you had, but that story comforts me in little things. But
in a lot of little things. Like, for instance, Job did not do anything wrong. This was a contest between God and Satan. Much higher level than Job. He didn't know that at the time. He knows now. And we know now because it's recorded in the Word. Was my case a fight between God and the devil over, I don't know, maybe.
So it's just trust.
I can't know.
So much trust.
I can't know yet, but I'll know someday. Meanwhile, I'm in prison. Okay, serve God. I'm out of prison. Yay, serve God. When I got out 7 months ago, I went right back to preaching.
What was the first thing you do when you got out? You got out. You walked out.
I was in Mississippi. They let me out, and several people met me there. My wife, Jim Bob Duggar, has got 19 children in Arkansas. He came and met me, and they drove me home, and had a banner across the street, "Welcome home, Dad," kind of stuff. And I had not so many things I had not done in 9 years in prison. I had not had Kentucky Fried Chicken. I said, I want Kentucky Fried Chicken. So it's amazing the little things that are exciting. Just the freedom.
What was the first thing you did?
Just to walk around.
Was it Kentucky?
Chicken? We tried. We couldn't find Kentucky Fried. We found another one. But just to go touch a tree.
You serious?
Yeah, oh yeah. It's amazing the things you forget.
When you came back here, we are in
my house.
Yeah. This is where the land is. This is where your dino land is. This is where your offices are. When you came here, What was the emotion? What was the feeling? What was the...
Well, because of there are 4 properties together, like a checkerboard, okay? I'm in property 1. Property 2 is where we went with the Dinosaur Adventureland. Property 3, where my office is now, we're renting it. Property 4 is the parking lot, which the government seized all the properties. My son had to buy these 2 back, so my wife would not get thrown out. So it was Dinosaur Adventureland was shut down, and we're looking now in Alabama to build another huge one.
What was your feeling when you came here?
It was a little surreal, like, okay, but it's almost like it just didn't happen, just like going to sleep, waking up, okay, let's get back to work.
10 years, woke up.
It's just like waking up. It really is.
And right now, basically, six months later, you're just continuing, carrying
traveling,
on.
preaching, doing my YouTube. I still don't know what YouTube is, but I have over 3 million views on Kent Howland official, you know.
Yeah.
So I think
what
it's
will
great.
you do different now? Will you do anything different now with your experience or after your experience?
I will be even more zealous of serving God. I'm 63. I probably only have 30 years left. I want to step on the gas. Let's get moving. Let's do more for the Lord.